sunshine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Headlines spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning whiz is always best. Time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Good morning, everybody. How are you doing this morning? It is Tuesday, if you didn't catch it last night over with MG Law. Yes, nothing like another night of derailed. We haven't done that in months. It had been close to 4 months since we'd done one of those. It was a good time. Man, oh man, oh man. Yes, and I'm sure you've seen the new letter to White Claw Bev. There's another one to be coming out at 9 o'clock this morning. Just so you know, it's there. Can't undo it once you started ringing that bell. Good morning, everybody. It is crazy. It is absolutely crazy. This right here, betting on the next pope, you might have a gambling problem. I've written plenty of times about the strange press releases I get nearly every day. Some of the most bizarre ones I get are the ones about betting odds on different random cultural events. For example, I've lost count of how many times I've gotten emails with press releases about bookmakers' odds on who will be the next James Bond. Well, when I woke up this morning, I saw the news that Pope Francis had died, and before lunch, I had an email promoting the odds of who would replace him as pontiff. Granted, those bookmakers probably had their list spinning about as soon as the Pope got sick, but this seems awfully quick, don't you think? My friend, colleague, and podcasting partner, Stephen Cruzier, discussed one of the likely candidates on a recent episode of Faith All Over the Place, or all over your face. But we didn't talk about betting on who will take Francis's place. But nowadays, people can and will bet on anything. And now we're seeing odds on who will become the next Pope. Would-be bettors are taking to search engines to find out how to plunk their money down. Immediately after the death of Pope Francis was announced, Google searches for bet on new Pope spiked to nearly an all-time high, with the previous high coming back in September 2011, amidst the filing of a formal complaint to the International Criminal Circuit accusing the then Pope Benedict of crimes against humanity for the roles in the SA scandal that rocked the Catholic Church. Reports the culture site Whiskey Ref. Gamblers are taking to social media to find out where to bet. Wait, ESPN, bet doesn't have lines on the next pope. Why do I even bet? Is there any way to gamble on who will be the next pope? I don't see anything of FanDuel or DraftKings. Whiskey Riff points out there's a reason why people are looking to bet on the next pontiff. Of course, sports gambling has become a massive industry in the United States since being legalized back in 2018, with 30 states allowing online betting, sports betting, and over 121 billion reportedly being wagered in 2023. But sports bettors are kind of in a slow season right now. There's NBA and the NHL playoffs, and of course, Major League Baseball. But the March Madness wrapping up a couple of weeks ago and no football, it seems bettors are anxious to find something else to throw their money on, including the papal conclave. On some level, I get it. Gamblers want their fix, and if they want their chance to win big money, but we're talking about someone who died in the early morning hours, regardless of who you think of. Pope Francis, and I've seen enough ugliness in our normal civil and thoughtful comment section to know that the opinions are strong. Doesn't it come across as disrespectful to bet on his successor when the ink is barely dry on his death certificate? This might be an unpopular opinion that might make some people mad, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you're betting on papal succession, you might need to engage in a bit of soul searching. You might want to call a gambling helpline. I was just I watched Just Was Hiding. No, don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good. So I have a smoking hot deal for you. If there is yet another used Pope mobile for sale. Oh, that just killed me when I saw those. Like, people are actually gambling on that. Man, I think I would probably gamble on the next California mayor to suggest giving homeless fentanyl to purge the streets. RX Paris, the Republican mayor of Lancaster, California, is facing a recall, as he should. As of this writing, Paris may not have much to worry about since only 6% of the 20,000 signatures needed has been gathered. Fox News notes that an issue is a statement by Paris during a February city council meeting referring to the city's homeless population. Paris asserted that what I want to do is give them free fentanyl. That's what I want to do. He was responding to a question about a plan to create central homeless encampment at an abandoned golf course, which happens to be near a residential area. Paris later told Fox 11 he did not expect his comments to be taken at face value since fentanyl is so easy to obtain that there would be no point in the city. You dumbass. I made it very clear I was talking about the criminal element that were let out of the prisons that have now become 40 to 45% of what's referred to as the homeless population. They're responsible for most of our robberies, most of our rapings, and at least half our murders. There's nothing that we can do for these people. Quite frankly, I wish that the president would give us a purge, because we do need to purge these people. Now, is it harsh? Of course it is harsh, but it's my obligation as mayor of the city of Lancaster to protect the hardworking families that live here, and I'm no longer able to do it. It's an untenable situation. I'm open to any solution. I want these people out of our city. I have encountered the homeless in Salt Lake City. I have seen all manner of erratic behavior on the streets, including a woman emerge from a makeshift shelter in a small tent city, armed with a large pair of scissors. She was not brandishing them, but wearing them as one might a Bowie knife. Panhandling transients dot the parking lots of 2 shopping centers near me, and last summer, one decided to stretch out and nap on a park strip in front of my church in my neighborhood. Kids set up lemonade stands and ride their bikes on that block, and people use that sidewalk to walk to church and nearby park. Because of the unpredictable behavior of this demographic, there could be cause for alarm if said people continued to decide the street was a great place for a noonday snooze. I called the police. The cop said that unless the property owner filed a complaint, there was nothing he could do. He added that if he told the man to leave, he would just go somewhere else. I don't know if the officer just didn't want to respond, or if, like so many others, he rationalized that nothing would be accomplished anyway. Certainly, the idea of handing out fentanyl to wipe out a population is more than alarming, even if it made in jest or a sarcastic policy underscore. But after all, Christ did command us to minister to the least of these if we are serious to our contention that life is precious. Such a conviction applies to the homelessness and addicted as well as the unborn. But what does one do when the least of these is not interested in improving their lot? The mentally ill are a different story, but what about someone who has chosen the transient lifestyle, perhaps one that involves fentanyl or heroin? People have a right to be transient if they so choose, but other people have a right to be safe on their streets and in parks. They should be able to step out in the open air without worrying about being accosted, assaulted with a pair of scissors, or having to navigate garbage and human waste. And Paris did go to lengths to say he was talking about the criminal element that refuses to help. At what point are one's life's choices no longer tolerated after they begin to infringe on the safety and welfare of others? It's one thing to give a couple of bucks to a guy with a sign outside of Walmart. You may even choose to donate to the local food pantry or warming center. But what if you and your kids have to do an about face on the way to the playground because someone is shooting up or defecating at the swing sets? Or what if you find yourself recovering from a head wound delivered by a madman roaming the sidewalks? How much must a community tolerate the lifestyle choices of others when said choices intrude on the safety of the citizens? Paris' remarks may have been distasteful, bombastic, hyperbolic, and sarcastic, but the problem is very real. The irony behind the opposition to Paris's idea is that he's advocating is already being done, albeit in slow motion. Such are already mired in their own squalor, taking fentanyl or other drugs, their minds decaying, and their bodies literally rotting. As unseemly as Paris's proposal may be to some, it is well underway in many cities, large and small. Some of it was evident in the cop's response to me that if he rousted the vagrant, he'd just move someplace else, so why bother? Other than ennui and resignation, one must ask whether in far too many cities and states there is more money to be made in grants, allocations, and other funding cycle denizens by managing a problem rather than fixing it. After all, if we fixed homelessness, how many government jobs would be on the line? Good morning, James, Louisiana. Good to see you. We got Wes and Bama and James in Louisiana. Good to see you over there on the rebel side. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So you have to get a smoking hot deal from you. Yeah, this is that. Like that. Greetings, folks. Greetings, greetings, and welcome. Yes, it's crazy. It's a crazy, crazy place to be. I saw this the other day, and I thought it was a pretty interesting aspect of this. And I will say that I really don't enjoy Hannity too much. I've seen way too much of his hair, I guess is the best way to put it. But this is a really interesting take that I saw with Taylor Lawrence. Look at this crap.
You feel joy. Those are your words. So you felt joy over the murder of this father. No, those are the words you use. You can shake your head all you want.
That's what she did.
And we have the tape. We have the tape. And number one, then you go on to.
Her head is almost as big as her shoulders. I mean, she is getting a little old. I mean, it does happen with age, I guess. She's starting to get more frail. But yeah, exactly what Sean said. We watched the little thing that she did with this guy, with the other guy. Yeah. And Sean was calling her out on it.
And people wonder why we want these executives dead. Then you posted an image of the Blue Cross CEO, Kim Keck. Now, let me ask you, what part of this United Healthcare CEO being a father and a husband don't you understand? And what part of you having a choice of what healthcare provider you choose to deal with or not do you not understand? Because you don't have to go with United. You don't have to go with Blue Cross.
So let me just be extra clear. Never did I say that I felt joy in his death. I said very explicitly, if you play the full segment, and actually people can watch that segment on my YouTube in full, not the edited version that Piers showed. I said that I felt joy, along with millions of other Americans, that the brutality of our healthcare system was finally being acknowledged.
By somebody being deleted? I mean, I'm sorry, that's not appropriate. Zach can fix her if she yeah, I'm sure he could. I'm sure he could. Oh my God. Yeah, that's absolutely insane. Yeah, I can fix her. Just like, holy cow. Oh man, you've got to be kidding me. What the hell is going on? Close that. What is going on here? Weird things are happening on my thing. There we go. Why is that doing that? Crazy. I'm trying to do something and everything's acting funky. Wow. Huh. Anyhow.
I believe that our current healthcare system is murderous, right? I mean, we have uninsured Americans with a 40% higher risk of death compared to insured counterparts.
Taylor,
Nearly
we could talk about
70,000
healthcare all
Americans
night,
die
but that's
each
not
year
the topic.
due to lack of health insurance.
Taylor, that's not the topic. If you can talk about healthcare, I don't like the healthcare system either, and a lot of people have experienced frustration, like you're saying. That to me is separate and apart from the debate of praising, calling handsome, smart, intelligence, being joyful over the death and assassination of innocent people. And that's what your comments did.
Yes.
Your comments basically put your seal of approval on murder and assassination. And I'm trying to understand whether you like this guy, like the way he does business or not, you're advocating and putting a smiley face on assassination. And I'm trying to understand what is in your soul that doesn't understand he's a father and a husband here. What?
Yeah, well, she doesn't have a soul because, you know, she's a succubus. I mean, at her, at her age, you know, you really gotta run those filters. This lady needs to be taken out behind a woodshed and taught some manners. Well, she might enjoy that. You never know. Maybe you can't even tell this on. She needs a helmet. Hey, Jack. Hey, how's it going, JK? How you doing? Sean Fiberglass Hair Hannity, he's unbearable, but I'll give him a pass on this one. Yeah, you better wear 2 millimeters if you try. And on a different head. Oh, shizzy. Oh, yes, I know.
What are you missing? There seems to be a missing chip with you.
Sean, if you'd like to hear, I will need to talk in order to explain.
I don't want the rationalization. I want you to think.
Yeah, that is all that she does. She gives the rationalization. You know, that's it. She just gives a rationalization.
Think about what you said. Explain
what
you
I said.
Yeah, she knows exactly what she said. She was just like glorifying how wonderful it was. Like, you know, here we see this young man. He's so attractive, and it's like, lady, this guy was deleted.
I'm attempting to right now, so I'd ask you to please give the space and try to listen here. As I said once again, never did I say I felt joy that this man died. I said again that I felt joy that millions of Americans or millions of really wealthy Americans and privileged Americans are forced to wake up to the reality that nearly 70,000 Americans die each year due.
Lady, you are glorifying the death of somebody else. Well, if one has to go, so people can wake up. Oh my gosh, let's wish harm on somebody, so we can address an issue that's really important to me. Well, Miss, I was raised with a silver spoon in my mouth, stretched my gums out. She just keeps digging. I know.
Due to lack of health insurance. I do feel joyful that that is an issue that's being talked about.
Back to the healthcare debate. Why would any human being with a conscience and soul be joyful over an assassination of any person? Why would anybody be joyful over that?
Well, actually, that's a good question. Why don't I explain?
It's a great question.
The other clip that you played is not me saying my own beliefs. I have quite different beliefs from that.
No, you don't. Take out this insert foot. Well, she's going to be inserting more than that here in a second.
I'm describing, and if you watch the full segment, not just the clip, you'll see that I'm describing the mentality of these fangirls that show up outside Luigi's court and show up outside his jail cell. Those girls are not me, okay? We have very separate belief systems.
No, she was fangirling all over him. She was fangirling all over him. Like, Oh, good Lord.
But I was describing how they believe. And now let me explain to you why people in America feel this way. People in America feel this way, and they feel outraged because, again, every penny of the $22 billion in profit made by United Health was made at the expense and suffering of others. And
that you help promote, lady. You realize that you are promoting all of this bad stuff. She has, has to mop the floor afterwards. I know. She probably uses her own tongue to clean it too. Just this is Taylor Lorenz. She's like 80 years old or something, and she was the one that got on and started crying because everybody online hates on me. Yeah. Only in the USA, really? Yeah. 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 She's she's a sick biatch. Yes.
that is violence. Our healthcare system is also violent. And that
Really. Healthcare system is violent. The healthcare system just punches out the numbers. The healthcare system sucks. But you never wish death on somebody. I mean, that's ridiculous. And, she's sitting there going, oh, no, that's okay. It's all right. And now people are waking up. She's trying to rationalize what she said.
that is a violence that people in the mainstream media, such as yourself, continue to refuse to acknowledge. So if you're going to talk about death and violence, it's
Taylor,
crucial
if you
to talk
want to
about the death
criticize
and
the
violence
healthcare
of
system,
our healthcare system. Pardon?
there's a better way than saying that Luigi Mangione is a revolutionary who's famous, handsome, young, smart,
That is what those people believe. That is what those people believe.
And seems like he's a morally good man.
That's what
If
she
you
said.
want to have legitimate criticism, you could write an intelligent piece saying,
She
here is
couldn't.
what's wrong.
She couldn't write an intelligent piece because she's not intelligent. It's like, I have to Google her. I'm old and doesn't keep up with these new folks. No, she is too. She is too. Hey, if you're doing a search, Cynthia, just look up how old is Taylor Lorenz. You'll probably get like 20 or 30 different versions of her age because she lies all the time. That's the problem with her. She's pretty scummy. But I still wouldn't wish death on her. I just think that Zach could fix her.
Wrong with America's healthcare system. Like, for example, I want healthcare savings accounts. I would like to see more of the use of telemedicine. I believe in healthcare cooperatives. I know one that works. Josh Umber, Atlas M.
I would like to see. I would like, and I say this in all seriousness, I would like to see less telemedicine. I really would, because to me it seems like a scam. It really does. Can you imagine going to your telemedicine gynecologist? Hey doc, here, look at this. Maybe those doctors just sit around on OnlyFans all day. Yeah, it looks like he's got this. That looks like a bad case of syphilis. Don't know. How does that work? How does that work? Seriously. I mean, does the doctor just sit there and go, oh, what's that? I can't really the doctor. Hey, telemedicine doctor, tell me something. I'm curious. Telemedicine doctor. What exactly is this? Tell me, what is this telemedicine doctor? What is it? What is this? Doc, I don't understand. What is this, doc? Telemedicine doc, tell me. just picturing the telemedicine doctor looking at that, go, what the hell? Oh, God. Here we go.
D, average person, 24-hour concierge care, $50 a month. There are better ways to do it. That's a legitimate debate. But that's not how you're saying it. You're saying it in ways that are sympathetic to the people that are taking action.
I'm describing
Handsome, good
the
looking.
belief
This is why
system
people
of these
are happy and
supporters.
joyful.
She was also describing her beliefs, and if you're telling me she wasn't fangirling all over him, oh yeah, she was fangirling all over him. She had to mop the floor afterwards.
I'm describing the belief system of his supporters, Sean. Oh,
Why don't you condemn them?
Hello?
Will you say that anyone that praises this guy is lacking a soul, a conscience, and a heart? Do you agree with that statement?
well, what I will say, Sean, once again, is that I
just
believe in
asked
free
you a very
speech.
direct question.
She
Will
couldn't
you say
answer it.
that anyone that's praising this guy doesn't have
Look, you can tell she just got all excited over seeing him. She was just like,
a soul, a conscience, and a heart?
I don't believe in things like, you know, religious things like
I'm
souls
not
and all of these
asking
things.
about religion.
I don't believe in these religious things like souls and all that witchcraft. I don't believe in that. So whenever I call you a soulless bitch, because you don't believe in souls and all that, you're just a bitch. Gosh. She wants to be a sugar mummy, more like sugar grandma.
Religious. If you can't have
You're asking me
sympathy
to judge
for a
whether
dead
someone has a
father and
soul.
husband, do you lack a conscience, a soul, and a heart? That's a simple question. You're a smart woman.
Well, let me respond to you, Sean. I believe that every one of the 70,000 Americans that die each year because of lack of health insurance.
She can't answer the question, the soulless bitch. She likes to devour them. My screen stoppage is pretty spot on again today. Just I get it every time. I get it every time. Why is everyone giving this dumbass a voice? She supported Amber Heard. Well, yeah, she did. Oh my God. Lack of health insurance. Wait, I thought Obamacare fixed all that. Yeah, didn't it? Didn't it? But it did. Oh, it forced you to get health insurance. They jacked everybody's prices up. Oh no. Yeah, then this is typical with these reporters. They don't tend to answer a direct question because she has no direct belief except what satisfies the click next. Obama don't care. I know. Ah.
Also
You're back
has a
to
heart.
healthcare
Those
and
are
not
human
answering my
beings.
question. I've done this 29 years, Taylor. Answer the question. If you think it's
yeah.
okay and you celebrate assassination, are you lacking a conscience, a soul, and a heart?
I think once again you're conflating.
She won't answer the question. She won't answer the question. What are her beliefs? Does she believe that someone that would go out and delete somebody, do they lack a soul, a conscience, a heart? And she won't answer the question.
Me explaining the ideology of the women that
you
show
are trying
outside.
to rationalize them.
Yep.
If you support assassination,
Yes, I think it's
answer,
important.
Taylor, answer the question. If you support
Again,
assassination,
Here's the problem. Sean is getting all frustrated. He's getting all frustrated. You can't get frustrated on someone this stupid. This is why you don't give them a platform. Well, when the soul got out, the brain went out with it. With her goose.
assassination of innocent people, are you lacking a conscience, a soul, and a heart? Simple question. Go.
I believe that the assassination of innocent people, if we want to talk about the assassination of innocent people, I believe that the tens of thousands of.
So she condones it. If she won't answer that simple question, then she's given you her answer. She condones it. Do you think there's nothing wrong with that?
Americans that die each year because of the lack of health insurance. That is, to me, a violence in itself. That is assassination. These health
I'm willing
insurance.
to have that discussion with you, but we can't have that discussion until you
can't
say
have the discussion when you're not willing to
for
hear
example,
on what my beliefs are, and you continue
condemn
to
people that have been committing acts of. Do you condemn the people that tried to assassinate Donald Trump, or would it be a good thing in your mind, or would you understand why people want to kill him, or understand why people want to kill Elon Musk? Do you understand them too? Are they handsome people too, smart people?
Well, so let me actually talk to you a little bit about that. So I cover violent extremism. I've witnessed violent extremism for many different factions.
Oh, now she tries to throw this back on her back. Here we go again. Back to the talking points. Yeah. Luigi needs to be no deletions of anybody. She has her own platform, and that's all she has to say. Exactly.
Right, of the political system. If, for instance, somebody shows up and shoots an abortion provider dead, I want to understand their ideology.
No, you don't need to, but you won't condemn it. That's the thing. You won't condemn it. Oh. I know she has this staring problem. Her eyes go two different directions.
I'm a reporter. I want to understand their belief
That's not how reporters work.
System, and I want to understand what led them there. Now, let me tell you something, because it's interesting you bring up the assassination of Donald Trump.
If you resort to violence and you kill innocent people, aren't you lacking a conscience, soul, and a heart? What's so hard?
Well,
Why
so
can't you answer that question?
Well, once again, when you talk about souls, that's not really my specialty. But what I do specialize in is extremism.
Obviously.
You don't specialize in anything except spin. She's pushing for a job on MSNBC or something. That's got to be what she's doing. She's got all she's got to be doing. Part of me wants Luigi to become a good communist, but the other part of me wants him to lift rocks, small rocks by hand for the rest of his life.
You're at a time right now.
By the way,
I'm not so loud.
Okay, thank you. Well, we are at a time right now when we're witnessing actually one of the biggest memes on the internet right now
is you. One of the biggest memes on the internet is you. I'm not a zoologist.
About assassinating Trump and Elon. These are posts with millions of likes that are advocating for the assassination of the president.
Simple question. Do you condemn that? Can you take a moral stand and condemn that?
How can she take a moral stand? She has no morals. That's the problem. But she will be the first to cry, people are hating on me. Oh my God, woman, you're freaking ridiculous. You are ridiculous. Like I said, my GameStop is just really good. She's empty saying things for reactions. Exactly.
What I condemn is the violence of our system, and I would love for you to acknowledge that.
You already did, dumbass. Dumb ass. Oh. She's kind of a chick that would if you're best friend and then blame you for knowing him. Exactly.
I'm not asking you to condemn the system. Taylor, do you condemn people that call for assassination?
Gosh, you're going to ask if I condemn Hamas next. This is crazy.
Soulless people.
I would love for you to acknowledge what I'm actually saying, Sean, and we seem to be talking past each other.
No, you're talking past. He's already acknowledged the healthcare system sucks. He doesn't like it. But she is condoning people being deleted. What an idiot.
I want to talk about the fact that half of all adults for delay because of cost. We need to talk about that 70% of Americans, by the way, believe that the insurance company.
So you are an extremist. So she agrees with the extremist. She says, well, that's an extremist belief. Well, there you go. You're an extremist, Taylor Lorenz.
practices are responsible in part for Thompson's death. These are signs of an unhealthy...
You want to put a rationalization. I am saying anybody that wants to assassinate any innocent person is wrong. I don't care if it's a Democrat or Republican, or a father or a husband, and I speak that is a simple truth that anyone with a heart would easily say on national TV that you're having a hard time with.
Lady, you just can't, you just dug yourself in deeper. Good morning, Miami Spice. What a wonderful time to see you. Yeah, she can't admit to it. Good to see you, Miami. I just passed rest stop, and now I think I saw T-Rex at the party. You sure? Was it wrecked?
If you want to prevent further deaths and you don't want gun violence in the street, which I think we both are aligned in wanting, right? We want peace. We do not want violence in this country.
But she calls on violence. I told you my stoppage is still good on her.
No matter what side of the political aisle it's coming from, you need to understand motives and you need to understand the ideology that people have. And
that was your ideology, right? Because you said that this was okay as long as 70 million people, you are condoning it.
Why don't you first start with the basics? I'm going to help you out. Why don't you first condemn those that want to be involved in assassination and stop talking about them being handsome and smart and intelligent and
I didn't say that.
Yeah, I told you my stoppage is good. It always is. That's what she did say. Oh.
I believe that. I am describing his supporters who do believe that. And I think it's very important, just the way that I would try to understand the ideology
Will you condemn his supporters? Last question.
See, you are an absolute scummy person. For people like her, the ends justify the means at all costs. Exactly. Hitting it right on the head right there. Oh, just what a ridiculous person. Just a ridiculous person. But, if we're on the subject of souls, well, the battle is on for the soul of the Democrat Party, but she's the contestants. It's a pity both sides can't lose. Former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger quipped about the Iran-Iraq war. And while I mean no insult to the odious Saddam Hussein or Ayatollah Khomeini regimes, I had the same thought watching two wings of the Democrat Party go to war. Disgraced former Governor Andrew Cuomo and current New York City Mayor frontrunner, but I'll return to that in a second. He was the guest of the Daily Beast podcast last week, where he told hosts Jonah Coles and Isaac Maraza, you can't have this extreme wing of the Democrat Party running the Democrat Party because it doesn't work. The Democrat Party is outraged at Trump, Cuomo said. The Democrat Party is in trouble. Let's be honest. Coles asked if the Democrats had been hijacked by cultural issues. Cuomo said, we hijacked ourselves. We lost our base. We lost our foundation. You never had the foundation. The Democrats have to learn lessons first about their recent election losses. Cuomo said, yes, focus on Trump, but learn your own lessons. Coles jumped in and asked, is AOC part of the extreme wing? And he goes, yes. That's a very good question. Very direct answer, said Peraza. If I'm being totally honest, it's refreshing to hear Cuomo be totally honest. The former governor currently enjoys a wide lead in New York City's Democrat primary race. The New York Post reported on Sunday that Cuomo continues to hold a commanding lead in the crowded primary election with a backing of 45% of the Democrats. His closest competitor is the Socialist State Assemblyman Zoran Mamdani, with 22% up from 18% last month. Incumbent Mayor Eric Adams was elected as a Democrat, but since turning against his party's radical stance on illegal immigration, he's running for re-election as an independent. Adams polled at 6%, Cuomo's 41% last month before going indie. So barring something drastic and unforeseen, it looks like the mayor's race is Cuomo's to lose. Meanwhile, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez drew big crowds around the nation, touring with multimillionaire Senator Bernie Sanders by private jet on their Down with Wealth or whatever tour. Cuomo added that AOC and Sanders capitalized on Democrats' fear and anger over Trump. AOC was first elected in Congress in 2018, and her seat is so safe even after driving away at Amazon expansion that would have brought thousands of jobs to her district, that if she'd been up for election on Easter Day against Christ risen, she would have won handily. Gooder and harder, New York, gooder and harder. But the fact is that battle is between the midwit socialists too young to have accomplished anything with no discernible talents aside from transparent demagoguery and aging sexual harasser responsible for the deaths of thousands of elderly New Yorkers. Some choice, eh? Did I say the battle is on for the soul of the Democrat Party? As my lawyer friends might say, that headline assumes a fact, not in evidence. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. It's just absolutely crazy to me that people are missing out on it again. People are missing out on these crazy ass people. And it's pretty simple because all you have to do is watch her last interview.
Hilarious to see these millionaire media pundits on TV clutching their pearls about someone standing a murderer when this is the United States of America, as if we don't lionize criminals, as if we don't have, we don't stand murderers of all sorts, and we give them Netflix shows.
Yeah, you say so. No condemnation of it. No condemnation of it whatsoever.
There's a huge disconnect between the narratives and angles that sort of mainstream media pushes and what the American public feels. And you see that in moments like this. And I can tell you, I saw the biggest audience growth that I've ever seen because people were like, oh, some journalist is actually speaking to the anger that we feel.
Need I say more? Why do I want to slap her? Because she's a pretentious twit. Absolutely pretentious twit. That's why you want to slap her. Because she's pretentious. This is the problem with her. She's pretentious. She should have just gone to the Tickle Me Elmo factory.
I think you misunderstood me. I said you need to give Elmo 2 test tickles before shipping.
Ah, test tickles? I thought you said...
You like what you see, baby? Elmo's a man now.
Oh my God. Oh, it just saying, I think you meant, well, I'm not able to speak like I used to. It happens. It happens. Sometimes you can't speak like you really want to. I love this stuff.
You couldn't imagine what happened next. And if you did imagine that, please seek help.
I wish you could buy alphabet soup in the Arabic language. Then I could spell all the Star Wars words I want.
That's right. You have to extract the nerd early on.
On your marks, get set, go! Oh, cut the shit, numbnuts! Bunch of numbnuts!
That's actually the Jonas Brothers.
Step aside, dudes! Time for a shell spin! Turtle power! hey, dudes! Little help here! Little help!
3 hours later.
To infinity and beyond!
Buzz didn't realize there is no beyond infinity. or that infinity isn't a place. He was never seen again.
Oh God. Oh. Oh. You know, you gotta laugh at all this stuff. You really do. I know what she was trying to say. No. I don't know what she was trying to say. Problem. I don't think she knew what she was trying to say. It was it's not okay. This was probably going to get me in trouble, but I do have to show it. I do have to show it. It's just because I'm just looking to get clipped out right now. Here we go. I love it.
I really don't know what's gotten into me recently.
Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, chicken, turkeys, rabbits, you name
But is she available? You don't have good enough hair, J-Hip. You're going to be disappointed. She enjoys, you know, she enjoys younger men, you know, younger than her, like in their 80s, you know. She likes younger men. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh. Let's see what exactly this is. I saw this earlier. Gonna need a lot of flour. Oh, the healthcare system sucks. She seems to condone vigilantism. Yeah, she's insane. She does. Oh, I got this one for you. Here
Guess
we go.
which is it? Is it NBA or NFL? 36 have been accused of spousal abuse. 7 have been arrested for fraud. 19 have been accused of writing bad checks. 117 have directly or indirectly been bankrupted at least 2 businesses. 3 have done time for assault. 71, I repeat, 71 cannot get a credit card due to their bad credit. 14 have been arrested on drug-related charges. 8 have been arrested for shoplifting. 21 currently are defendants in lawsuits, and 84 have been arrested for drunk driving in the last year. How many of you think NBA? How many of you think NFL? Well, the answer is neither. It's the 435 members of the United States Congress.
Oh, that's harsh. That's harsh. That's pretty harsh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cold, I would say. That's pretty cold. Let's just think about that. Yeah, just think about that. Oh, yeah. But legacy media does hit an absolute new low. An RFK smear campaign. In response to RFK's recent press conference in which he addressed the latest truly unreal autism statistics as one of 12 California boys now has the lifelong condition, the brought to you by Pfizer ran the predictable narrative, which was they've trotted out before that autism epidemic is solely the product of improved diagnostic methods and increased awareness. Medical experts have primarily attributed this increased improved diagnostic capabilities, a broadened definition of autism, and increased, I thought that was awesomeness, but it says awareness. Researchers believe there is no single cause of autism, but that a combination of factors, including genetics, plays a role, as the National Institute of Health explained on its website. This claim is obviously wrong and stupid for anyone who spends 2 minutes looking at the reality, but it's expected and not arguably beyond the pale. But because they can't help themselves, they ratcheted up the smears to 11. MSNBC ran a barrage of hit pieces like this one, in which the panelists accused the secretary of stigmatizing autism by pointing out the disturbing statistics that he outlined in his press conference.
New reaction today to the CDC revealing a sharp spike in autism cases in children ages 4 to 8. The numbers show 1 in 31 8-year-olds were identified with autism spectrum disorder in 2022, up from 1 in 36 in 2020. Health Secretary RFK Jr. claims environmental toxins are responsible for this dramatic rise.
Genes don't cause epidemics. You need an environmental toxin. These are kids who will never pay taxes. They'll never hold a job. They'll never play baseball. They'll never write a poem. They'll never go out on a date. Many of them will never use a toilet unassisted. And we have to recognize we are doing this to our children.
No, and that was what his press statement was. This direct result of prison. Could be. Could very well be. But the problem is nobody wants to address the problem. They want to address the cause of it. And, you know, I don't know. I'm not a medical health expert. There's no medical advice here. Just for the YouTube. See, there you go. I've got my disclaimer up there. I can't confirm anything of what you see here to be true or accurate. So take it for what it's worth. But it's an interesting conversation. I mean, if you think about it, he's not incorrect. Many of these kids that have autism are going to have a hard time throughout their entire life. There's certain things that they can't do. There will be certain triggers that set them off. And I say this because I have a friend of ours. She has twins. Well, just a second. She has twins, and it's a paternal twins, a boy and a girl. The girl is absolutely bright and intelligent, top of her class, just you know, musician. She's like her mother, just an absolutely brilliant person. Her son, on the other hand, is nonverbal autistic. And I mean, he doesn't, he will speak words, but it's more grunts and noises. And he has serious climbing issues. He likes to climb up everything. There's, you know, he'd walk to the edge of a cliff and, you know, jump because he doesn't have any self-awareness of what damage could be done to him. And he's so strong. He is so strong that whenever he was in his younger years, like I want to say about 8 or 9, she could barely contain him. Like whenever he would get into a panic and start waving his hands and freaking out, and it would scare the hell out of her. Because, you know, one day she was looking out a laundry room window and she saw his body go flying past him and hit the deck below because he jumped out the window on the second floor. Yeah, that he climbed up the side of the house to the window and then climbed in the window, climbed out the window and jumped. Like it's scary. It's scary for someone that has a child that's like that. He's not ever going to be without care, ever. Somebody will have to watch him 24/7, except whenever he's asleep. But yeah, he has to have, yeah. And a lot of them will. Most autistic children will. And that used to be the statistic, but it's gotten worse and worse over time. And if you're saying that that's autistic, that autism is purely genetical, if that was the case, then why is the girl not autistic also? If it's genetics. Weird, huh?
Okay. Joining me now, NBC News medical contributor, Dr. Natalie Azar.
Dr. Natalie Azar. Doesn't she have a lot to do with telling people that you know, we should be, you know, taking the taking the jib jab. Wasn't she one of those doctors? I'm pretty sure. I have to look, but I believe that she was involved in a lot of that. We had a few of them, especially that Chinese lady that kept on getting on there. There's nothing wrong with doing this.
I wish you could have seen my face as I was listening to that. I was looking at yours. I'm curious your reaction to what you just heard.
Yeah, Alex. So, there's been resounding.
Dr. Azar? No, that can't be right. Dr. Azar. Not now. Dr. Azar is from MSNBC. MSNBC. Dr. Azar is, let's see. Let's take a look and see who Dr. Azar actually is. Natalie, she's a rheumatologist. Dr. Azar is a rheumatologist. Dr. Azar is a rheumatologist at Lang. She went to, and her philosophy is rooted in the belief that medicine is fundamentally about doing no harm and fostering a healing environment. I'm passionate about my work because it allows me to deeply engage in the science of immunology and inflammation and make a meaningful impact on patients' lives. Credentials, board certifications, rheumatology. Yeah. Low incidence of, oh yeah, she's a COOF doctor. She wrote publications on COOF, on the COOF, on the COOF, on the COOF, on the COOF. Yeah. Like, serious. Think publications. Low incidence elevation of autoantibodies post mRNA COOF. Term immunogenicity to COOF. More on the COOF. Yeah. Yeah. She's a COOF doctor. There you go. That tells you quite a bit about who she is. Yeah.
Pushback against his characterization of children with autism, and appropriately so. All I will say is that it's very factually misleading. Autism, like many diseases, exists on a spectrum. And so for him to, characterize, all children with autism as not being able to contribute to their lives or to society is just an awful thing and devastating for families, and really just contributes to the stigma surrounding the diagnosis.
Yeah, absolutely. What about these environmental toxins? What kind of toxins is he talking about? And what do experts say about the causes behind this increase in cases? Might it be due to more precise diagnostics?
Exactly. You're absolutely right there, MG. He is not. He's a coophologist. My son also changed after immunization. Yeah, it was, and that also happened with him, with the twin boy. I see the dollar on that. Good morning. Did not Boston Marathon again? Maybe next year. Oh, damn it. Well, I hope you at least had a good time and stayed away from crop boxes and stuff. When do males have this more than girls? Why do men have this? Males have this more than girls. This autism stuff is a new trend, just like mental heal push, etc. Stop listening to the news, everyone. Exactly. This is another thing. Autism has become an umbrella term. Little Jimmy was once just shy. Now they say he's a little autistic. Well, and there is actual autism, but there's also people that like to say that I'm autistic, and that's completely different.
Right. So I think the easiest way I think to think about it is just like clinically autism can exist on a spectrum, so really is the interplay between genetics and environment, Alex. And so.
But you've been saying that we're all exactly the same. That's that's what you've been saying the whole time. We're all exactly the same, even though we have people that have left hands, right hands.
You know, what most experts at this point say is that it's really a combination of enhanced screening as well as expanding diagnostic criteria.
Advanced screening. Then tell me how those numbers explain it. If advanced screening, there was 1 in 150, in 2020, there was 1 in 26, and in 2022, there's 1 in 31. How can it be advanced screening? Did they have better advanced screening in 2000? No wonder. So they had more advanced screening in 2000 than they do now. They also published an op-ed written by an alleged autistic man in which he claimed RFK Jr. had launched disparaging attacks on autistic people at the presser, which no honest person watching the press conference could conclude. Yeah.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org.
You look like an old ragged out, what was that? Crypt keeper. She looks like a crypt keeper. Expanding the criteria. CNN recruited a DEI scientist, Dr. Chris T. Purnell of the NAACP Center for Health Equity, who, along with other DEI panelists, erupted in cacophony. I can't say the word, damn it, of shrieking outrage after the 240 market. Mere suggestion why we give RFK a chance to perform, given that he's been on the job all of 90 days. She accused RFK Jr. of assassinating the integrity of public health science. Well, yeah, they've done that to themselves. Expanding the criteria. Yep, exactly. Good morning, a little behind, Lorenz. I'm sick of them saying they are the spokesperson for me and others.
Even get this from?
Who knows where he gets it from? It doesn't make sense according to the science. It doesn't make sense according to
the science. According to the science. You're serious. You're serious because the science. I can't even listen to it. I can't even listen to them talk about it. Just they're so damn ignorant of everything. The science. Trust the science. Follow the science. The lunatic fringe of the Democrats, socialists, are over at the majority report are running with the line that RFK Jr.'s campaign to end autism is a moral panic, and that he is incorrectly informing parents that they have any control over whether the child develops normally or not, as autism is a purely genetic condition in their pseudoscience minds.
We are back, and I'm thrilled to have Dr. Mark Allen Derry, infectious disease physician.
Purely a genetic condition. Ergo, let's just throw our hands up in the air because there's nothing that you can do about it. If it's purely a genetic condition, then there's nothing you can do about it. So, well, let's not even talk about it then. That would maybe that's the plan. We just don't discuss it whatsoever. You know, wouldn't that be the ideal right there to just not talk about it. Just don't talk about it. I mean, because if it's purely genetic, well then there's no need to say anything more. We'll just.
I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun, and the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. I had to do it. I couldn't help it. Oh God. But you know what time it is? It is time for me to grab a cup of coffee. Grab yourself a nice cup of Java. And we're going to take a short break, show you a little bit of happiness here. Some otters.
Shizzy, when it's chat we thrive. where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dull night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, to inside jokes and endless memes. We talk and Shizzy winners chat, we thrive where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dull night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screens, to inside jokes and endless memes. In Shizzy Winner's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dull night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screens, to inside jokes and endless memes. We type our hearts, we spam the love. Our chat rooms like a lit up club. Our chat rooms like a lit up club. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. Ooh, yeah, we come together night and day. We laugh, we play in our way. A family in a cyberspace, loving hearts in this virtual place. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream.
Oh yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. When I was a kid at school, we got our shots at school. We lined up at the cafeteria. Yeah, I mean, I still have a scar on my back from when I was a child where I got the smallpox, a little shot. And yeah, it's still have that little scar on my back there. And then of course, whenever I went in the military, they gave me another one, which I didn't need to have, but they went and did it anyway. When they start immunization against chickenpox, every chicken will lose its voice. That's absolutely true. Oh my gosh. So we've got this one here, which is, it seems almost impossible, even to Snow White remake critics like myself, that it might fail to crack 200 million at the box office. Yet, if the movie does cross that threshold, it will be by the skin of Quig's teeth. Quig is apparently a character in the new live-action version. I only know this because I checked IMDb for characters who weren't in the original, making me one of maybe 12 people who weren't involved in the production of who now know there's a Quig. In the fifth week on the screen, Snow White earned about 7 million in ticket sales domestically and internationally, bringing the total box office take to an estimated $194 million. The film cost an estimated $270 million after tax credits, plus another 70 to 100 million to market, and probably needs 625 million after theaters to take their cut or just to break even. Ooh. While Snow White floundered, Disney announced that the live-action remake of Tangled was on hold. While not officially canceled, the studio has given zero indication of when or even if development will resume. In box office terms, live-action remakes aren't any different from any other genre. Some do well, some break even, and some, like Snow White, flop creatively, though. Each one reveals Hollywood's creative bankruptcy just as much as the endless parade of superhero movies and their diminishing returns financially and creatively does. Worse, live-action remakes are unnecessary. Animation has a timeless netherworld charm to it that photorealistic CGI animals and dwarves simply can't. For all the online chatter, Snow White could have done much better, and just a handful of different decisions made early in the movie's production would have made all the difference. First, a flick like Snow White has no business costing $320 million to produce. Even if a $50 million UK tax credit brought Disney's low cost down to $270 million, but a movie musical shouldn't be a third of $1 billion extravaganza, particularly not one aimed at Disney princess set. The live-action Snow White reboot should have been a $125 million movie. All Disney had to do was hire some real dwarves instead of those demented CGI escapees from the Uncanny Valley. They could have used practical sets instead of green screen heavy productions that star Rachel Zegler in particular seemed ill at ease with. Maybe they could have insisted on a script that didn't go all woke reportedly before the rewrites and socialism for the reshoots. Finally, Disney could have avoided the bad press by getting back to doing what movie studios used to do for every release. Keep the actors tightly scripted during all appearances, now including online, until the picture is on the silver screens. Reportedly, Snow White's budget-busting reshoots were needed to plug holes blasted out by the script by Zegler's off-script remarks. The film might have still sucked, but at least it would have cost a reasonable amount to produce and not had so much bad buzz going for more than a year before its release. Shoot a kiddie flick that doesn't suck for $125 million, promote it for another $50 million, then count the profits as Snow White soars to a $400 or even $500 million box office. Or, please hear me out, take the original, spend a few million cleaning up the print and punching up the score for a multi-channeled sound, then re-release it to audiences hungry for quality family entertainment. Maybe that sounds crazy, but but is it any less crazy than spending close to $400 million on a $200 million flop? Shizzy has the Snow White cosplay costume. Stephen Bear. Yes, my wife wears it quite often. I love it whenever she plays with the butterflies. Butterflies in my stomach. She just makes it all that much better. Just makes it all that much better. Oh, and I had to show this. This is a little bit old news, but this goes to the status of our country these days.
These are the type of lies. She's getting millions of views on this. Sarah, she's even came after me. She's even said all of those things. And now that the public knows exactly what is going on, I asked, because these racist bigots try to prevent us from standing up for our baby, our boy, he should be afforded the same rights that Cal Rittenhouse had, Daniel Penna, and all of the people who have claimed whatever their defense was. He should be afforded the same right. Nobody in the public media has one video camera, but we got the video of Cal Rittenhouse with an AK-47 shooting 3 people in the back.
That's not how it worked. That's not how it worked. They showed that that did not happen. You are an idiot. If anybody watched what happened with Kyle Rittenhouse, he shot no one in the back. Not a single person did he shoot in the back. Not a single person did Kyle Rittenhouse shoot in the back. And I'm trying to understand how they think. I'm trying to understand how this mentality believes that you can compare somebody attacking Kyle Rittenhouse being shot in the front or shooting a man in the front in the chest that attacked him to blasting off someone's hand after they pointed a weapon at him, to this garbage of a human being.
We got that. And he raised more than $2 million publicly, and nobody said anything.
And you just about broke him too. He can't even go to damn college without people freaking out and rioting. The others he mentioned didn't go out looking for trouble. They were in a place they shouldn't have been. Yeah.
Thing. So since they tried to come for us, I call for the community's overwhelming support for this fund. The disinformation that was put out was literally deliberate to prevent you from helping this family.
It's not
and
true.
I want you to give overwhelming support to show them the community.
No, this isn't his dad. I think this is, if it is, then yeah, this is ridiculous.
United can never be divided. And I'm gonna say this again, and this is for everybody. Black people in America, while the current occupant sits at 1600 Pennsylvania, Black people in America don't have to pull the race card. It's what we live as a reality every day.
But you're pulling the race card as he whips out the race card and slaps it in your face. We don't have to pull it. No, because you just wear it on your chest like a badge of honor.
It's what we have to teach our children. We don't want to, but we have to.
What's for breakfast? Indigestion?
We don't like to, but if we want to sleep at night, we got to. I ain't pulling no race card. I live it. I'm reminded all the time that I'm a Black man in America.
I'm reminded all the time that I'm an American. He just doesn't get it. He says as he plays the race card. Exactly. We have that in the UK. I feel like a secondhand citizen in your own country. We don't get free speech. If you say anything, it's racist. He's not pulling a race card. He's going for a straight. When you continue to propagate a race war, it will never die. Exactly. This guy's worse than Sharpton with race bait. He himself had charges for choking his wife and was the guy who denied shaking his girlfriend's child. Yeah, you remember the case, playing video games. Wait, who was it that brought a knife to a sporting event? Who had gotten in trouble for a knife at school weeks prior? Yes, we know, Sean. Starts my day of following have. Yeah. Yeah, this is the silliness of some of these people that I don't believe in pulling a race card. As they pull the race card. As someone pulls the race card. It's just absolutely sickening and sad that they just don't understand that this guy is ridiculous. You know, he's working to be the next. He's working to be the next one. Yeah, Dominique Alexander. That's his attorney. Mm-hmm. Oh, you just can't seem to shake yourself of these just ridiculous people. Like this group right here. MSNBC suggests Trump plans to deport African Americans. The latest racial tinged conspiracy theories that the Trump deranged syndrome addled corporate state media is running with is that Trump administration is developing plans to deport African Americans, otherwise known as people of color. Let the brutal Oregon former Camel Toe Harris press ops goon who has rebranded herself as a journalist, Soymon Sanders, explain. Right here.
Congressman Ivey, thank you for being here. There is, I've been talking about this all week, but Janae Nelson of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, she penned an op-ed in The Nation this week. And her op-ed talked about that we think that democracies are, the way they die is dramatically through these wars and blood is shed. And it's
democracy dies. No. Let's explain democracy for those weak-minded individuals that have a balding head.
Democracy is a form of government based upon the principle of majority rule, period. End of discussion. Now, that's not very complicated. Majority rule. It's easy to understand, easy to sell to the masses, and I might add, deadly. For example, what would you call a lynch mob? That's majority rule. There's only one dissenting vote, and he's at the end of the rope. Now, that's pure democracy in action. But wait a minute, you say. The majority should rule, yes, but not to the extent of destroying the rights of the minority. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are no longer describing a democracy. We are speaking of a republic. A republic is a limited democracy. It's a form of government based upon the principle of limited majority rule. Limited so that the minority, even a minority of one, can be protected against the whims and passions of the majority. And how do you protect the minority from the majority? You write down a set of rules on a piece of paper. You say, this we can do, that we cannot. At the top of the paper, you write the word Constitution. And then everyone agrees to follow the rules no matter what the temptation. And when you're finished, you've created a constitutional republic.
Exactly. But these folks don't seem to understand what democracy. Mainstream media does not understand this country is not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic.
It's cinematic in a sense, but really the realistic way in which democracies die is that it's dismantled brick by brick, piece by piece. And she says that what we are seeing now with the lawlessness from this administration are really the canaries in the coal mine gasping for air. I'm paraphrasing.
You're paraphrasing, or in other words, making shit up. Sad fact, the leading cause of death for young black men between 18 and 35 is homicide at the hands of another young black man, 18 to 35. And this has to stop. Absolutely. Absolutely. I just wanted to see the underground bunker. Get over yourself. Hey, you're the one that said you wanted to, you know. Just saying. Good morning, all. Good morning, Mark West. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. No, I know after 39 years together, it's a big no. No, you can't come in my bunker.
Paraphrasing here. But to me, that is why Kilmar Abrego Garcia's specific case, the case of the gentleman who's a makeup artist out of California who was also sent to that prison. That is why the 75% of the folks who have been sent, the men who have been sent there that don't have criminal records, that is why this is so important. Because if they could do it to them, If they could snatch students off the street without any pushback or recourse, they will do it to any of us. And to be very clear, it's going to be the people of color and vulnerable communities that are next in line.
I think that's right, and that's certainly part of why the African American community is so strongly behind the supporting Kilmar.
Yeah, we're like, we are not for this.
Yeah, because as you just said, if they're going to whisk them away, what are they going to do with us? But the other point, too, though, is the constitutional aspect of this, because Kilmar's case has already gone up to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court sent an order basically saying facilitate his return.
Yes.
The Trump administration is trying not to do that. They're dragging their heels at every step of the way on that. And now we've got another track with Judge Boasberg where he's talking about moving forward with criminal contempt against the Trump administration. So we've got a separation of powers conflict here between the judiciary and the executive.
Yeah, because the judiciary is trying to dictate what the executive branch does or doesn't do. That's what they're working on right now. And the Supreme Court has already said, stop. You're overstepping your bounds. There's a reason why they brought all these lawsuits against Trump in with districts. I mean, does anybody need to, scream Letitia? Just saying. Why can't people just get along? The world would be a better place if we just work together. Because people can't do it. Good to see you, Linda Lou. How are you doing? Good to see you. I love that. I love that right there. That is so awesome. Come on a motorcycle. I love it. There's no direction from SCOTUS to facilitate his return. There was no directive from the Supreme Court of the United States to facilitate his return.
Branch, and we need to make sure that we back up the judiciary. He started attacking individual judges with threats of impeachment. You had House.
Yeah, whenever they overstep their bounds and what their role is in government, yeah, he should. He was in his 30s, already educated. Yeah, in short, it's a short tree. Well, really a stump.
Republicans actually file articles of impeachment against some of these judges, 6 versions of it. So we've got to make sure we stand with them and support them. And especially interesting is, some of these Supreme Court rulings are coming from, or high court rulings are coming from very conservative judges. The Fourth Circuit ruling the other day was from Harvey Wilkinson, maybe the Anton Scalia of the Fourth Circuit. And then the previous one with Kilmar, I believe, was a 9-zip, if I'm right. So you get Clarence and Alito on with, Ketanji. That says something, and we got to make sure that we support them in this effort.
Exactly. It was to take steps to facilitate release. That's all that they ruled on. Diverse Congressman Glenn Ivey goes on to concur with Sanders' apocalyptic warning, adding that there's a certain part of why the African-American community is so behind trying to bring up the Maryland father alleged MS-13 gang member back to the United States, clearly insinuating that Trump administration is going to specifically target blacks in its next roundup. Absolutely at no point did Trump obviously declare his intentions on beginning deporting minorities on racial grounds. What he did say, and for the record, I don't agree with trying to deport American citizens convicted of crimes, is that he would look into deporting homegrown criminals here, the meaning of which is not entirely clear. The homegrowns are next. The homegrowns, you've got to build about 5 more places, he told El Salvador President Nayib Bukele last week in reference to the prisons that currently house deported illegal aliens. Later, during that same meeting, Trump clarified that these are not established plans, but that he instructed Attorney General Pam Bondi to investigate whether doing so would be legal. I'd like to go a step further. I say to Pam, I don't know what the laws are. We always have to obey the laws, but we also have homegrown criminals that push people into subways. They hit elderly ladies on the back of the head with a baseball bat when they're not looking, that are absolute monsters. I'd like to include them in a group of people to get them out of the country, but you'd have to be looking at the laws on that. I heard that the country he is from verified his crimes. He broke our laws. As a non-citizen, he doesn't have our rights. Absolutely. Then I would call that a shit. Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, the time has come. Time has come. It's getting to be that time of day where I have to wrap up, and this mess of a stream, of course, because well, mornings happen. Slightly green. It's not made out of seaweed like they said it was. One of our Oregon representatives is down there now. Hope she funded this herself, as is prepared to defend herself against the Logan Act violation. Yeah, they'd like to back off really quick whenever they find out that they're not being helpful and they're being more of a hindrance than anything. They tend to, feel the pain. But here's the beauty of it. Over the next, few weeks, you're gonna see some more nice little letters come out in the Karen Read. So if you haven't seen it, I do have a new letter out. I released it last night. It was pretty fun. Part 2 will be coming out at 9 o'clock today. After that, it will send every single person over to go check out the wonderful, the bright, the talented, how would you say it? No. Yes. Go check out the Broken Baker. He's covering Karen Read, and I will be sending people over there. And every day for this trial, I will be watching it, but because I don't have the time, make sure you buckle up your helmet this time. Yeah, no, I'm going to leave it unbuckled. Leave it unbuckled because you never want to, I'm going to knock it off. Garcimchi is like, no. No one can do it like Baker. No. But yeah, I'll be sending people to go check out Baker. And over the next few weeks or possibly months, depends on how long this trial goes, I'll probably be watching it throughout the day. But because I don't have time to sit down and cover it, gavel to gavel. But if you're wanting to see it gavel to gavel, you got Baker, and I believe there's going to be quite a few other people that are going to be covering it gavel to gavel. And I will be putting out a letter every single day. And I hope that you guys enjoy the letters. They should be quite fun. And that's not taken away from the other letters that will be also coming out today, which we've got more of the Bubbles and the Hales saga going on. So I'll be releasing those also. They'll be coming out over the next few weeks. Those nice open letters. I know you guys enjoy those. I enjoy making them. They're so much fun. But I should have one for Karen Read out at 9 o'clock. Go check it out. I've released those as premieres so you can get in the chat and you can like harass each other and be kind to one another, because you don't want my Moz to get a hold of you if you're in there being a real butt. They will knock you all around and slap you all around. And I should have something for you guys, possibly tomorrow morning. Every morning I'll record it at night, put it out the next day. So keep an eye out for those. And I will probably tonight go over a little bit more of the pleadings that came in yesterday or the orders that came in from the judge in the Fed case 1, Fed case 2, Fed case 2, Fed case 1. Well, we won't hear anything until next month. At least we shouldn't hear anything till next month. But it looks like the judge is placed an order that seems a little misplaced, but the judge does what the judge does. All you can do is report about it. And yeah, I agree with you, Brett. Bent hook, never go pro se. Never go pro se. And yeah, it's about to get wild and crazy. I can't imagine that there's going to be any change in that status. But make sure that you have a good week. Judges not being fair. Yeah, I mean, but you have to understand that is what the judge ruled on. And there's always remedies to those kinds of things, and we'll just see if they remedy that situation. We shall see. We shall see. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm sort of impartial on that. I think there might be a reason for how the judge might be looking at this, mainly because he believes that Michelle and we'll talk about that tonight. It'll be a good one. It'll be a good one tonight. Stay tuned. And in the meantime, everybody, I'm going to send you guys over to go see the wonderful Mo in the Deep End. Give her a little bit of love. She's covering it also along with Baker and along with Valhalla. So, stay tuned and have a good day. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.
Bless your heart. I thought I was the only mentally challenged one here.
Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Early morning, rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy Whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning Whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Show Mo some love.